Now at 6, hospitals across the country, including Connecticut Children's, have put the brakes on gender-affirming care for kids. Fox 61's Priscilla Meza is working to find out more about the impact. We'll go to her live with that and reasons why the hospital is changing its practice. That's coming up in a few minutes from now. But first, we do have a weather impact alert. So good morning and happy Thursday. Thanks for joining us on Fox 61 and streaming on Fox 61 Plus. I'm Bridget Piorlo.
And America areas, hopefully your Thursday is off to a good start so far. You're definitely going to notice the humidity is back, and today's going to be hot. But what we really need to be prepared for is tomorrow, right, Rachel?
Tomorrow is going to be a difficult one, I think, for folks if you're working outside or have to spend a prolonged period outside, as temperatures tomorrow will feel like near triple digits. Today is a transition day, I think. It's going to definitely be hot, and we're kind of just alerting you to the fact that it's going to feel a lot different outside than it did yesterday and the day prior, with hot and humid conditions that are building in. A heat advisory in place for our 3 northern counties, Hartford, Windham, and Tolland County. Feels like temperatures 90 to about 95 degrees, although I do think that some of us will feel like 90 to 95 degrees, even if you're not in those 3 counties. Kind of a little confusing. 74 degrees in New Haven, a mostly cloudy sky right now. Winds out of the southwest, 9 miles per hour. It is warmer than this time yesterday at 64 in Waterbury, 73 degrees out the door in Bridgeport, and 66 in Norwich now. Yesterday, you may remember, we started off in the 50s for a lot of us. Here's a look at our humidity. Temperatures right now are in the low to mid 60s across parts of the state. Moving forward, we are going to build in those numbers over time, falling into that very humid category by this afternoon, and that's going to make things feel much warmer. So for today, it looks like this. We have temperatures near 80 degrees at noontime, mix of sun and clouds this afternoon. We're going to get up around 90 degrees for areas inland later on, and it's going to feel like 90 to about 95 degrees for a period of time. The heat index values for tomorrow are a bit on the high side, 100 to about 105 degrees. We'll have more details on that, plus the storm chance that's on the way for tomorrow too, coming up in just a bit. As we check in with the roads this morning here at 6:02, we are dealing with some various road work across the state. So just kind of want to be mindful of that. Over in Enfield this morning, a portion of it is seeing a slowdown. Now this is clearing at the moment. So I-91 exit 48 northbound, that exit ramp to Elm Street, that's closed due to some road work. It does look like this is reopening at this hour, which is certainly some good news, but you're still delayed. Hartford to Massachusetts is around 26 minutes there. Travel speeds around 45 miles per hour, going to hit those delays in Enfield. New Haven to New York is around 75 minutes. We are starting to see our delays building over in Fairfield County. Bridget and Erica.
And Rachel, as the weather gets warmer, make sure you stick with Fox 61 Weather Impact Team for hour-by-hour updates. You can keep up with us on air, online, and on our free Fox 61 News app. Also, we're streaming anytime on Fox 61 Plus.
And now at 6, a major shift in pediatric health care is unfolding across our state. Connecticut Children's Medical Center says it's winding down its gender care program for patients under 19 years old.
And this mirrors moves that are happening all across the country. Fox 61's Priscilla Meza is live right outside the hospital with what this means for families and Connecticut providers.
Good morning. I'm outside the Connecticut Children's Medical Center, where hospital leaders say they will begin to wind down their gender-affirming care program for minors. Now, according to its website, the program offers gender-affirming and developmentally appropriate health care to transgender and gender-diverse patients and their families. This comes as several other leading institutions across the country are making similar decisions. Now, Children's National Hospital in Washington, D.C., the University of Chicago Medical Center, and the nation's largest transgender youth treatment clinic based at the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles have all taken steps to pause or shut down similar programs. These decisions follow recent federal investigations and increasing legal scrutiny over the delivery of gender-affirming care to minors. Connecticut Children's has not given a timeline for when services will fully stop. In a statement, spokesperson Monica Buchanan added, quote, "We are approaching each situation on a case-by-case basis to ensure that every child's needs are considered with compassion, clinical judgment, and care," end quote. Now, we did reach out to Governor Ned Lamont and Attorney General William Tong to ask whether the state plans to take any legal action based on the hospital's decision. Now, we did get a response from Tong, and it reads, quote, "The Trump administration continues to attack American institutions and American families by sowing fear and confusion around medical decisions. This is the next ugly front in the ongoing war war on American patients, doctors, nurses, and healthcare providers. This is about scaring patients from seeking care and scaring doctors from providing care, regardless of who is harmed and the lives that will be lost. It's unconsciously reckless and yet another disturbing intrusion of partisan politics on our private lives and choices. We'll bring you the latest as we learn more. Live in Hartford, Priscilla Meza, Fox 61.
All right, Priscilla, yeah, it's a controversial topic. People feel very passionately on both sides of that issue, so we'll be following it closely here on Fox 61. New this morning, 5 people were hurt in a crash on Route 2 in Preston. Firefighters in Preston say 4 vehicles crashed on Route 2 near Shoeville Road yesterday. That's about 2.5 miles west of Foxwoods and is heavily traveled. We don't know what led up to the crash, but as you can see, a lot of damage there on the roadway.
6:05 right now, and there are new details here on a deadly crash investigation that happened last September. State police say one man is facing charges in connection with the death of a well-known pastor and chaplain. Fox 61's Tim Lateau explains what could be next for the suspect.
A suspect in a nearly year-long investigation has now turned himself in after allegedly hitting and killing a motorcyclist. That motorcyclist was a chaplain for the Connecticut State Police, as well as for the Cromwell Fire and Police Departments. Sergeant Luke Davis with the Connecticut State Police explained just how much has gone into the investigation into the crash that claimed the life of Reverend Dr. Paul Krampitz. Krampitz was killed while riding his motorcycle last September on Route 9 in Berlin. State police say the suspect, 25-year-old Gabriel Figueroa of New Britain, collided with Krampitz after drifting out of the lane he was driving in. State police say Figueroa didn't stop his vehicle after the crash, but troopers say he eventually came back to the scene later that day and was later taken into custody for questioning. State police reported Figueroa had been cooperative in the investigation. He turned himself in Wednesday morning after a warrant had been issued for his arrest on 2 charges: negligent use of a motor vehicle resulting in homicide and evading responsibility. Because he initially left the scene of the crash, the state says Figueroa faces an additional 20 years in prison as a result of the split-second decision he said he made out of fear.
There is a sense of closure for every single one of us. I mean, Chaplain Krampitz was very well liked and respected for the service that he provided to the state police, as well as his peers with the other chaplains statewide.
Figueroa appeared in court Wednesday morning, and he's now out on bond. In Tolland, Tim Lateau, Fox 61.
6:07 now. Hartford has a number of abandoned properties, and among them is the former St. Augustine School on Clifford Street. Maybe you've driven by it before. It closed down in 2016, and since then people in Berry Square say nothing has really been done about it. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot shares their message of frustration.
Broken windows, graffiti on the brick wall at the former St. Augustine School in Hartford are just some of the many complaints neighbors say they have brought to the city. They are calling on something more urgent to be done.
In 2016, St. Augustine School on Clifford Street closed its doors. Shortly after that, it was purchased by Schmel Eisenberg. But people in the community say he hasn't done anything to the property since. Hyacinth Yenny, the chair of the Maple Avenue Revitalization Group, has been advocating for years that something be done about this building. Yenny wants to see the building turned into apartments. She says that was the plan when it was bought.
You hear constantly breaking windows, they're spray painting, you hear all kinds of stuff. They start fires inside of it to warm up in the wintertime, you know, and stuff like that. So I've seen it all because I literally live across the street.
He needs to give this building over to the city so we can do what we want to do, okay? Because we have great dreams. We want to see that dream come through by having decent housing, beautiful building, beautiful structure, but look at it, it's falling apart.
Yenny believes people have to put more pressure on developers when they buy properties in the community so they don't end up blighted or abandoned. In Hartford, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Okay, thanks. Well, 6:09 right now, and kids at McDonough Elementary School in Middletown are going to be at a different building this school year. That's because there's renovations happening at their school. So the kids are going to head to the former Kagwin Middle School, and that hasn't been open in 5 years. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson has more on the project and how it's going to affect families in that district.
Built in 1924, the McDonough Elementary School is a historic site in Middletown, but some much needed renovations are underway for the 2025-2026 school year. So in the meantime, the district is getting the old Kegwin Middle School ready to open its doors to students. For the first time since its grand opening, the doors to the McDonough School will be closed when the school year begins. But it's not permanent, as Mayor Jean Nocera explains. It's just undergoing a much-needed overhaul. The mayor says the main purpose of the project is to restore the building as a suitable place for learning while still preserving its historical value. While the work is completed, students will attend Kegwin, which is about 10 minutes from McDonough.
Because this section will be demolished, the main section will be rebuilt. It will be a modern school with a lot more windows, a lot more light going into it, a more airy feeling. It will have flex space in it so that classrooms can be expanded if we have to double up classrooms.
For parents like Janelle Holden, who live across the street from McDonough, sending their kids to another school is a big change.
I was scared when we first moved here because we moved from Hartford. So I had kids going to West Hartford schools and Simsbury schools, and I know like those schools are really, really good. So I was just worried about like Middletown in general, but they love this school overall, like out of all their schools. So it was a really good switch for them. And then I live close to it. So it's like, that's the downfall too. We get to school very quick. So that's going to be the difference for me. It's like now they will have to be transported, and I'm not used to that.
Mayor Nocera says that renovations are expected to start later this fall. He also says that when the school reopens, it'll be a STEM school, so parents in other districts can opt to send their students to McDonough. In Middletown, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.